Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're working on push mower. It's going to be the first video shot on the new lift table. This is customer's machine. He stopped in. I dropped the machine off and he stopped in later on and told me what he wants looked at. I'm going to do a general once over real quick, see what we need, because I know for sure I need to order a part because we got something missing. There's no recoil on it. It's completely missing. So we're going to order a recoil. But before I put an order in, I want to make sure that it's got everything else it needs. I haven't looked at anything on this machine, just the cover. It's the way it came, didn't even have screws in it. So we're going to pull the air filter. We're going to check the operation of the choke because it feels funny. And see what we need to order for parts first before we actually do any repairs. We're going to just do a look at stuff going on. So let's see what we're into here. Let's get this air filter cover off of here. Whoa, disty. Depleted air filter. It's filthy. It's not oil soaked, so we're going to probably just blow it out, put it back in. Yeah. Pre-filter, filthy, full of junk. Common, happens a lot. People don't realize they got to check that stuff, so it doesn't get checked. Set that to the side. Now that choke, I can see the butterfly in there. It's looking kind of not right. Pull the choke. That's kind of not right. Looks like the butterfly's bent. We're going to pull that air cleaner cover off and see what's going on. A couple of bolts here. Little vent tube. Pull that off and have a look. Grab some tools and we'll get back on it. Alright. Couple of 10mm nuts. Zip them off. Customer said he thinks it may need a carburetor. The gasket behind here. It's looking kind of funny. Might not be on there right. The butterfly for the choke is bent. Huh. Okay. Seems odd. Doesn't look like it should be like that because there's a pretty good restriction there right now. Anyways, I don't think there's any fuel in it. It stinks like old fuel. I don't think there's any liquid in it. Let's just pop this away from the gasket there and see what it looks like. Fuel line is hard as a rock. Pair of pliers. A little spring clamp off of here. Ooh, squeaky. Need one of those pliers? Oh yeah, hose is hard as a rock. It's splitting. Let's get a rag under there in case there is any liquid in there that wants to escape. That's going to need a new piece of fuel line because it's actually just ripping apart. Dry. Alright. The governor rod is not hooked up. Got a few items wrong with this one so far. This adjustment rod right here is in the way. Can't get the carburetor off properly. Wonder if it'll move up or down. Let's see if it'll go down out of our way. Yeah, there we go. Just lower the whole mower down. It's a one lever adjustment, one handle. It'll adjust the whole mower up and down with one handle. Gently slide that off. We're going to unhook our governor spring. Unhook the little Z bend back here. And unhook the Z bend here. It's a little bit messy. So our carb gasket was on like this. I'll get you a close up of that. That's the way the carb gasket was. So we'll get that back together properly when we put it back together. There we go. That's the way it should be. Text message. And another. Bull's loose. Okay. This is going to be a exploratory surgery on this one. I got a clear bench. There's going to be more parts coming off this thing. Alright, here's where we're at so far. I've taken the carb off, taken it apart, put it in the ultrasonic cleaner. Came out nice. Nice and clean. Clean the main jet. All the stuff that needs to be cleaned has been cleaned. Let's just fire this carb back together. Our main jet screwed in there. Actually came out pretty easy. Some of them are quite sticky. That's that. Needle and seat are in good shape. We'll drop that back together. Put our little pin in there. Put our bowl on. I'm not sure if this gasket's going to leak or not. We're going to find out, but I think what I'm going to do is the bowl sits down on top of that where the emulsion tube is, and the bowl's a little caved in here, so I'm going to take a hammer and I'm going to pound it down, and that should put a little more load on our top gasket. We'll grab a hammer there and we'll just give her a couple of love taps on the vise. Well, here we go. Use some type of punch. We'll just flatten it out a little. That looks better. So I just hit it from the inside and just dropped that surface down a little bit. So that should give us a little more clamp load. See, now it actually feels like the bowl is on the gasket instead of just bottoming it on the top of this. Now we're going to try it. That's the drain plug, not the bowl nut. Drain plug. Bowl nut. Gasket looks okay. Let's get that together. I'm not going to tighten it yet. Tight, because I'll do it while it's on the mower, because I want to align it so you can access this drain when it's on the mower. Let's put the gasket on the correct way. That ain't right. There we go, that should do it. Hopefully it doesn't leak. If it leaks, we'll have to figure out a new gasket, but for now we're going to give that a shot. Let's hook up our governor arm this time. Well, gasket fell off. That's alright. Get it situated back where it belongs. There we are. No, we're not. Come on now. Smarten up. That's the way the gasket goes. Pop that on first. We still need to get our throttle linkage in there. Z bend there. Z bend on this end. Get our governor spring on it. These rods look like they've been a little bent before, so I'm going to do our best to make sure it's the way it's supposed to be. That looks alright. There's our choke rod. Oh, that butterfly's still bent. I can straighten that out while it's in there. Governor is moving. Yeah, we'll try it. I don't think I'll put the air cleaner on to try it. We'll just jam these nuts down there. Snug her down. It should run like this. It may not be ideal for as far as tuning goes because in a lot of cases the air filter makes it run a little bit richer. So we gotta hand ratchet and snug them up. Okay. No, that doesn't want to move nice. Trying to straighten out that butterfly just a little bit. It's very thin metal. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll be better than 90-degree bend in it. What I'm looking for is to get it as far open as possible. Oh, I see what's happened. It appears like the ends of the cables have been unscrewed slightly, and that changes the length of the outer sheath when you do that, which means it doesn't quite function the way it's supposed to. What I need to do is make basically it's not opening far enough. I need to make the inside cable longer. And to do that, I'm just going to make the outside of the cable shorter. So these ends thread on. I think this one's now bottomed out. Pretty close. Well, it's still turning. There, now it's bottomed out. But it's also been unscrewed at the top here, so. Hey, let me undo the top. Where's my... I don't know where my socket is. 7/16. So I'm going to undo the cable from here. Boing. I'm going to thread this back down where it should be. You can see where it was. There was a clean spot in the cable sheath. We'll snap that back in there. See what it looks like. Goes all the way closed. And all the way open now. Nice. We get a quick shot of that in a second. We'll turn the camera around there. We gotta get this cable back in there. It's the wrong hole. There we go. Grab the nut that I threw on the floor over here. Okay, now we can see, maybe, there we go. Whoa. So this butterfly was bent, basically the inside of it was bent on a 90-degree angle. Now it goes, you can see it's fully open. It's completely perpendicular to the bore of the carb. And when I pull the choke knob out, it goes completely flat. That's the way that's supposed to work. So that's going to be okay. We may have a vacuum leak back here at the back of the carburetor, where the where that gasket was installed upside down. We won't know until we get it running. What I'll do is that eventually I'll get to the point where I have the air cleaner on the front of this, and you can blow compressed air in here, and it'll change the way the motor runs. Or you could also just use a propane torch without lighting it. You just turn the propane on just a little bit, and then you just run it around any place where there could be a vacuum leak. And if there is a vacuum leak, the engine will rev up because you're adding fuel. Or brake clean, anything that burns, you can do that with. So that's in order. I'm not sure if the governor rod looks like it's bent. Usually they're not curved like that. Usually they're nice and straight. It does have its full swing, so it seems to be okay that way. It's got some mangled springs down here. They've been adjusted. We're going to temporarily use this hose again. There's no sense putting hose on it if something else is wrong with it. So we'll temporarily use this. If it becomes a viable project to return to life here, I'll end up changing that because this hose is hard as a rock. And we don't want it to give us any future leaks. We need a recoil. Not sure if we're going to order one yet, but it needs the recoil. I've already taken the plug out, cleaned it, gapped it, checked for spark. It has spark, so that's one major thing that is okay with it. Well, that's major. Gotta have spark. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I may lower the lift table, give her a splash of fuel, see if the bowl leaks. I gotta tighten it yet, but I'll see if the bowl leaks, and see if she runs. So let's, well, there's no real good position for that bowl to go in to make sure we can drain it, so I'll just snug it down to where it is. Looks good. I'll get a 10mm wrench. 10mm wrench. Snug the bowl. Alright. That is that. Yeah, she might be okay. She might run. Maybe. We can hope. Alright, we'll move some stuff around, and I'll use a drill on there to give her a spin, and we'll see if it fires at least anyways. But we'll drop the table down and clear it off so stuff doesn't rattle off the bench and fly all over the floor. Okay, so I had tested the spark plug for spark earlier and it was fine. So we've got the carb bolted down here with just 2 nuts, and I put a drill on here, a corded drill, pulled the choke, had a little splash of 91 non-ethanol in there. That's pretty good. Not much in there, just a splash, just enough to get it to run, fill the bowl. Anyways, bowl filled up, put my drill in there, spun it around, fired up. It's running and it's stumbling a little bit, and I check it with my tach. It's at 3,300 RPM, 3,250 or so. That's perfect. That's fine. I was concerned because the generator spring looks like it's not supposed to be like that. It's all tied in a knot and stretched, and anyways, that's working fine. But it's stumbling and stumbling. So what I did was I took a blowgun and I just blew air around that gasket that was upside down. I blew air around there, and when I got around to here, it really stumbled really bad. It tells me it's lean. It was sucking more air than it should, so that gasket is no good. So we'll have to change that gasket. All order went up. I have to order the recoil anyways. Customer already gave me the go-ahead for that, so yeah, it runs. Doesn't knock. It's pretty loud. The muffler, I think, is blown out internally, but the engine doesn't knock. So we're going to pull that oil dipstick out. We're going to have a look at the oil. Well, I know it had oil in it, but it was a little low. There's no metallic filings in it. I think this is a decent candidate to bring back to life. So we'll get parts on order. Be a little bit to get here. I'll probably put this one in the customer parking for a while until we can get back to it. I've got a job coming in tomorrow that needs the hoist, so we're going to get this cleared out of here for tonight, and when we get the parts I'll bring the camera back out. Alright, so I finally got my parts. Man, shipping has been horrible with this whole COVID thing. Canada Post is like, I don't know, 3.5 years behind. Man, it was 12 days to get this part. Crazy. Crazy. So, we needed to replace that gasket at the back there. Gasket set came in. We're going to pull that carb off and replace that gasket behind there. Fix our leading condition. Yeah, warm one today out here. What do we got? Oh, we got fuel in there. Can I squeeze it out of there? Nah. Put a pair of ice grips on it to stop the fuel flow. I'm not going to put a fuel valve in it. We'll stop the flow here. Just pinched enough to stop the fuel. You don't want to collapse or damage the hose. Get that cramp off of there. Let's get a rag or something under there so it's not spilling fuel everywhere. Here we are. Needle nose. This customer's been really good. I don't think he said he wasn't in a hurry for the mower anyways, but I mean, it's getting a little ridiculous now. Let's gently unhook this governor spring, damper spring. Don't want to change the geometry of the spring or the tension on it. Well, didn't need to. Didn't need to. Let's get this ratty old gasket out of here. It's not doing its job. Not at all. The gasket's it's a metal backing with gasket material on it, like a silicone. Ordered the gasket kit by part number, well, the equivalent part number. It was a 3-piece gasket set came with. That's what it says. There's our 3 pieces. Looks like we need this one. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That one? No. That one. Looks like that. Methinks. So, tell you what I'm going to do. This is a chunk of gasket material as well. It serves 2 purposes. It's a gasket and it's a heat shield from the cylinder head. So the side that goes to this part is still good. I'm going to scrape this part off where the new paper gasket is going to go. And that'll give us a nice sealing surface. So, I'm not going to bore you with me scraping gasket, so I'll get this cleaned up and turn the camera back on. Well, I might actually name this video The Mower from Hell. Over and over and over I tried to get this thing to run right. I was stumbling and surging in it with the choke off, and it would run it would run better with the choke on, but not perfect. So I had to take the pilot jet out of the top of our carburetor again and clean it out with a wire, because it got plugged up after I cleaned the carburetor. So it ran like hell, and then I cleaned the carburetor and I put it back on, and it ran like hell again. And so I didn't figure it was a carburetor at first. I took it apart, cleaned it, made sure the fuel line was clear, made sure the governor was adjusted, made sure everything was adjusted right. At the end of the day, it was a vacuum leak at the inside of the gasket, something that we didn't even touch. It was beyond what we touched, so I replaced that gasket, fired it up, and it runs just nice now. So now I'm just going to put the top cover on here. I call the customer, tell them it's ready, and that will be the end of this video and this mower, hopefully. Anyways guys, thanks for joining me on this video. Please don't forget to click the like button, leave me a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to notify you when I upload new videos. Until the next one guys, take care.